What's the crack?
That's a good way to start it. So we're rolling this as my podcast.
This is your podcast.
This is my podcast. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Adam, introduce yourself then.
Hey cunts, I'm Adam. Fuck, what do you want to know, brother?
If you go onto my socials, you go onto my Instagram, you'll see our collab posts. So basically, as a lot of people know, listen to this, I've been in Australia for the past 3 months, nearly 3 months, done Melbourne, Sydney, and now I'm in Gold Coast. Adam lives in Gold Coast, and the internet's just, it's fucked, like, because I was sending you in the car, I seen your content maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and I was looking at it, and I was like, this guy's cool. And the next thing you know, we're just sitting together making content. So introduce yourself, let people know who you are.
Just on that, like I saw you popping around on TikTok too, I'm thinking, who the fuck's this cunt popping out of nowhere? It's like an Irish me, a few of yous are going around doing it, it's good. The more people giving that message, the better. Who am I? What do you want to know?
You've been in this for years, like.
I've been in this industry for 12 years. My business is evidence-based training. Face-to-face PT for 8 years. Got into the online world, transitioned slowly, face-to-face and online. Here we are now, fucking 12 years later, making content and running an online training nutrition business.
Yeah, so when you first got into this, you got into this as a place of personal training, helping people with their fitness goals, but there was no actual social media content for years and years. Like, how long were you actually coaching for before you started making content?
So the thing on that is, like, when I first got into the gym and being a personal trainer, the social media content was, look at me without my shirt on, I'm a sick cunt. That's how people were promoting their business. Yeah. And people were actually fucking going to them for PT. Yeah. Like, every post is them without a shirt on, and I was like, I'm never doing that, so I just don't have social media. Yeah. That was my attitude. And then it got 8 years in, and I'm still struggling. Like, to get a new client, I've got to get the gym to give me a free lead, give them 3 free sessions, and hope they'll continue training with me. Please like me and please train with me. And I was like, this is not gonna be sustainable for me. Like, so I started the social media page randomly one day, and called it evidence-based training, just made that up on the spot. I just finished uni, so that's when this shit started happening. Then I started the Instagram, so that was 4 years ago. So I did 8 years, no Instagram, torture. As soon as I made that Instagram page, my life changed straight away.
I feel like there's a brand new wave now of people that are actually being themselves on social media, because hopefully you feel the same way about me, but when I met you, I felt like I already knew you. Yeah. You know, with your content, the way you talk, and it's all exactly the same, whereas I feel like on socials for so long, everyone was putting on a persona, or this is my life, and it's over glamorized, and then you meet them and you're like, you're nothing like this, whereas what I feel like people are actually crying out for now is like, who are you? Like, what sort of person are you? What's your personality? So did you get that from the start on socials? Were you just, hey cunts? Or were you like, was there a bit of a transition phase where you're, because there's so many people doing this now where it is like personality and stuff, but at the start there wasn't very many people doing it. So what was your content at the start, and how did it transition to what it is now?
So when I started, there was no TikTok. There was, there was a TikTok, it was called something else. I just had never heard of it. It was more like photo format. Yeah. You weren't really doing videos, and I was posting like calorie comparisons and this and that, and I was being real like scientific in my posts, because I'd just done an exercise science degree. I thought I was real smart. I thought that's what I've got to put out there. That's what separates me from everyone else. I know more, or whatever it was. Yeah. But I actually started finding the basic information was getting me the best results. So I'd put out something very basic that I thought is shit, and everyone's like, holy shit, that's crazy. Yep. Started going more on that path, like, all right, this is simple, let's put it out simple for these people. Then the stories came with Instagram, right? And I just called someone a cunt one day. This is how it started. Someone said something, and I said, I didn't know it was cunt o'clock or something. I just had the biggest response I'd ever had. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I put out all this information, I spend all this time putting this together, but I can just say cunt and you just love it. Yeah. Like, I went out one day and someone's like screenshotted, I probably had like 5,000 followers, and someone screenshotted me saying something, and they're like, I got this, and I showed everyone. I'm like, what? Anyway, so that's when that started coming, because I started just being myself on the stories, and I'd get so many people laughing and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, this is going somewhere. So it was on the stories for a long time, and then Reels started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And I was still a bit hesitant, and then I just went fuck it and put something out there, and it did well. And then I remember doing one, and I'm like, this is a bit much. This is too far.
Yeah.
But I'm going to post anyway. And then that did even better.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, and I feel like, as I said, people are crying out for that now. And there was a lot of personal trainers struggle massively because they think that they need to be putting out this mad, groundbreaking information, and they need to be one up in what they've talked about. Whereas what people actually need, and this is what I found with my audience, is it's the simple things, but it's the simple things presented in a way that's actually digestible and entertaining and funny at the same time, because there's lots of people with the best information in the world, and you see them as personal trainers where they have all this great information. They're getting pissed off because they're getting no traction, but it's because they're not putting any personality, they're not putting any humor, they're not putting anything in there. So people want to watch things that they enjoy and learn at the same time, and that's the secret. Whereas at the start you said yourself, oh, I need to be putting out all this mad information, but it's the simple things, because people just aren't doing the simple things. And even the strategies that I get people to do to achieve lifelong results, it's all simple things. Like, it starts with controlling your calories, and then it's like tactics for helping you control your calories. Maybe we need to not buy the share size packs. There's nothing like groundbreaking, but I think once people come across our content and they see us, they see how many people have helped, they see that we're in good shape, and they're like, there is no secret magic potion. So would you say your coaching's changed at all from the start to, like, when you first started, were you trying to do anything different? Like, you're bound to have had a massive learning curve to what you were doing at the start to what you're doing now.
So in terms of the coaching, it was always pretty simple. It is what it is. But you would also want the client to think it's not that simple, because you want to sell what you're doing. Now it's just like, it's fucking this easy. This is what we're going to do for you. You know how to do it, but we can put it in a way that's going to fucking make everything easy for you. Like, we've got all the recipes, we've got all this shit ready to go. We can make you a meal plan and you're going to go, holy fuck. But the results are the calories in it and the protein, right? And we just need you to stick to it. That's your results. That's what the coaching is.
Yeah, it's mental, because that literally is all it is. But then the complexities come when you're trying to find, like, calories and protein, but then you're trying to find, right, what actually enables people to stick to that? What do we need to do alongside it?
The complexity is the individualized approach to it. There's a science, then there's an art. Because, like, I can give you this, it's not going to work for them. So what do you need to make this work for you and to motivate you to stick to it? That's the art of it, right? So,
right. So people are listening to this, they're like, right, in-person personal trainer 12 years ago. Now, right, we're sitting in Adam's very nice house. He picked me up in his fucking Lambo Urus, and he's killing it. He's killing it. And this is something that I want to talk about, because I love talking about fitness, but I also love talking about when people have made a lot of money, but they've done it in a genuine good way, where it's through helping people and providing value, and now they've built a nice life for themselves. So talk about the progressions in terms of business from where you started as an in-person personal trainer to fucking whatever this is now, this absolute madness.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so I think the thing about the whole thing is, like, I think when I was a personal trainer, I focused on making money, and I wasn't making money. I was in this cycle. All right, how's it work for a personal trainer? You pay your gym rent, you fucking try and get your 40 clients. Now you're too busy to do anything else. You're making, what, 2 to 3 grand a week, but you're fucking miserable, slaving away, you burn out, you lose clients, and then you repeat that cycle. And it's just a fucking rat race. And after about the 50th cycle of that for me, I was like, all right, well, something's got to change here. That's when the online stuff came in. And the whole idea was, how can I provide more value for less cost for them, but it's still worth my while? Right? Because I was like doing this PT and having people train with me 3 times a week. It's costing like $250 a week for them. Who can sustain that? I'm like, I honestly don't even see the value myself in you doing this. So I don't even believe in this product, because I know if you're not controlling your calories, training with me, you're not going to get fat loss. There's nothing special going to happen here. Like, I can teach you good technique, I can teach you all that. That's the benefit of a face-to-face PT. But the other shit is the online shit that's going to get you the results. So where was I going with this?
So what do you have now?
The progression was getting to providing them with a more valuable service with less cost, and that's where this online stuff came in for me. That's when I wanted to step away from being a face-to-face coach and then doing the online stuff. I've got a bit lost with where we're going with this question.
So like,
there was a good hook here.
Because you're an in-person personal trainer and now you're driving a fucking Lambo. You can't just go online and like, we just brought the in-person clients online.
Okay, yeah, we'll
suddenly
talk about value.
multi-million dollar business.
Then we went in. So then once you do that, they drop the Lambo in your driveway. No. So my focus wasn't money. With the online thing, it was value. That was the thing.
And money is a byproduct of value. I feel like so many people, especially in the online coaching space, they get into it because they want to make money and they're chasing money straight away. And as a result of chasing money, they'll go for short-term things that make them money in the short term. Whereas if you focus on what you need to do every single day, provide value, make content, help people, money, that's what you have to do to make the money.
That's just on the side.
See, for me personally, like I've made a decent living, but I don't set monetary goals. I set, I want to do what I need to do on a daily basis. I want to help people. And then as a byproduct of that, money always comes. But that's why I like you and your approach too, because it's like you're doing very well, but it's not just like money. It's like actual.
I'm thinking, how can I make better content? How can we improve the app? How can we improve the customer's experience? Those are the things I'm thinking about, because I know the rest comes. I'm like, if a client gets on this, I just want it to be better than it was last week. So let's make it better. I'm always reinvesting into making every little bit of the business better. And so it just continually grows, right?
And you've got 50 staff now?
50 staff. So it started, all right, I got into the online stuff because I wanted to bring more value and help more people without capping myself. Then it got to a point where it's just me now, and I'm fucked. I've got too many clients. I can't do this. So I hired my first person, and then that improved the quality of the service, because I was always like, fuck, no one can do what I'm doing. And I'm like, she comes in, I'm like, she's doing it better than what I was doing. This is her job. So I'm doing this, I've given her this, and she's killing it. Hold on, I'll get this guy to do this little bit. Then all of a sudden I got 10 people doing the jobs I was doing, and they're all doing them better than what I was. So the service is just going up. We're getting more clients, and then they're telling people about the service. And then over 5 years, it's gone like, now we got 50 people. Like, we're never compromising the service, no matter how many clients we got. We'll stop taking clients if the service lacks. And that's where our business is capped at the moment. So overcoming that's the way to keep scaling.
But I think what's good for the audience to take value is you found something that you actually really enjoyed, you were passionate about, you were doing it for not making all this, you were doing it before you were making all this money, and that's how you got to a stage where you were making lots of money. One thing I want to bring this back to is, what were you like in school as a student? Because for me personally, I'm someone that would confidently say I've achieved a decent level of success. But when I was in school, I always wanted to work for myself. I always thought that it would be successful, but there was a voice in my head saying I'm not like these other people that are top of the class, that are really organized. Like, I was unorganized. I was doing lots of things that you wouldn't consider with success. So I'm interested to know what you were like in your school days, your younger days.
Good question. So absolutely atrocious at school. I can tell you a good story, right? This is on, like, you might think you're not smart, or you're not on these guys' level at school, the smart kids, but you're just not interested. Because I remember in year 11, I did a speech, and I'm like really trying at it, and I'm gonna have a go at this speech, but I just had no idea what was going on. I wasn't paying attention to the little details. It was as simple as reading what you're getting marked on to get the result. But I was just like, I'll just write a mad speech, nothing to do with what it's supposed to be about. I got 3 out of 20 for my speech. I think the worst mark in the whole fucking grade, right? So that pretty much sums up how shit I did at school, and I dropped out, I didn't finish. I quit because I didn't do my assignments. I'm like, fuck that, I'm not going back. And then it gets to a point where I want to do my exercise science degree, and somehow I've got in. I've gotten in, I've passed my bridging courses, I've done Maths B equivalent and got through that because I fucking wanted to do it, right? So I got through it once I wanted to do it. And we had to do a speech in It was a communications class. Yeah, everyone has to do that. So I'm doing this with lawyers and shit. Did my speech, read the marking criteria. I got pulled aside as I was leaving. I almost cried. And the lady goes, Adam, I just want you to know you had the best mark in the whole cohort. Until the last person did their speech, they got 20 out of 20.
Yeah.
But you got 19 out of 20 and you did better than everyone. I'm talking cunts with their OP1. And I'm like, that just gave me confidence that like, if you want to do something and put in the work, you can fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think people just need to find their thing. Whereas like for me in school, I wasn't like, oh, I'm so motivated to fucking study for this chemistry exam or be a doctor or a lawyer. But for me, like I would consider myself always average smartness. Like I was average at basically everything in terms of like maths, English, all. I was never a high achiever. But then see, once I found this thing where it was like fitness, but then fitness and like, I would say I was a high achiever in terms of like making friends, communicating with people, like having the crack. But I always thought that's...
But these things are skills
too.
Yeah.
I always thought that's a useless skill. Like I'm just like the fucking class clown here. That's the
best skill to have.
That was supposedly the bad thing. But now I've flipped this on its head and I'm creating social media content. So I'm not saying for everyone listening to this, you need to go and start making fitness content. But I truly believe that everyone has something of value. Everyone has something of value that they can be extremely successful at. But it's just about finding what your thing is. But I find with the education system in general, everyone's put into the same, this is the test that you have to do to prove if you're smart or not. And that leads people that could be the best communicator in the world or could have the most value in a specific industry thinking that they're not smart and then going into a job that they don't even enjoy because they think that they're not smart enough to go to university or do a degree and then get the average way. But with the thing that's amazing with social media and the internet now is people are finding their own shit. And now it's crazy. It's crazy. Like so many people are doing different things, but I feel like there's far too many people that are just, they're putting themselves in a box because they think that they're not smart or they can't do things. For you, what jobs did you have before you found your shit?
So dropped out of school, was a concreter for my brother, $50 a day. Fucking 10 hour days, and I would get bullied at work and shit, and I was a little hothead, so I'd tell people to get fucked, and then I've got this fucking big alcoholic cunt wanting to fight me on the job site. I'm crying in the car, and I'm just thinking, this is life, like what the fuck? And I wasn't sitting there like, I'm gonna be this or that. I was like, I'm fucked, this is me, I'm depressed. Until like, you're shown that you can do what you want and you get that little bit of belief. So I was a concreter, then I was cleaning dishes in a kitchen, then I was working in a bottle shop. I was working in a fucking factory, building those kids' cubby houses, you know, them big ones, they have in their backyards. And I shot a nail through my finger one day, straight through to the other side, using the nail gun. I rocked up to work the first day and the guy goes, yeah, watch this, boom, 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 boom. And he's shooting the other cunts with the nail gun. It goes in one of their arms. I'm going, where am I? And they just laugh and pulling nails out of their arms.
Oh, that's fucked.
You'd just be working and some guy would pop out and just start shooting you with a gun. And you're like, right, this is fucking life. And the PT ads would come on when I was working in that factory. And I'd be like, oh, I've got to do this fucking Australian fitness shit. Eventually I did do that. Worked in a bottle shop. Was a manager there, thought, all right, this is me, I'm gonna work up and be a manager of BWS and maybe one day I'll run a store. And then it gets to the point, I moved to the Gold Coast with that. I transferred from BWS Sydney, Western Sydney, to the Gold Coast. And I went to the gym and I just saw the PTs here and I saw people killing and I was like, I can fucking do that. And that's when it started for me. And so I started as a PT. I got the confidence to be like, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do and see if it works. And I obviously put the fucking work in to make it work too, because I never wanted to go back to anything else. So no matter how bad PT got, it could never be as bad as going back. So I just had to keep going.
What was say for your own personal journey into fitness? What did that look like for you? Like, were you always into lifting, skinny, fat? What?
Super skinny. I was actually in a heavy metal band, emo kid.
That's fucked.
Full playing shows and shit like that.
What age were you when you were playing shows?
It was 16 to 18. And then like, I think around 17, I got into gym and I started not wanting to do the band shit. I was like, oh, I want to go to the gym and be healthy. I don't want to be smoking ciggies and drinking every weekend. Because that's what we were doing. Go play a show. Everyone, who's got a fucking pack of ciggies? Can I have one? Can I have one? No money. Just scabbing ciggies and drinks.
What did you play in the band?
I was the screamer.
You were the screamer?
Yeah, I was the screamer.
That's fucked.
Like, it was full on, bro. It was full on.
What the fuck, lad? Who am I sitting beside here?
I played guitar too, but one day my mate's like, we need a screamer. Can you do it? I'm like, yes, yeah, she'll be right, all right. Anyway.
That's mad.
Let's not talk about that.
You've lived a different life.
Yeah. I'm 32, brother. So I've been through it all.
That's mental, like.
Like, literally, I've come from fucking rock bottom, nothing, completely different person. Like, no attention from girls, like, full ugly cunt, worst acne you've ever seen growing up, just dyed black hair. It was bad.
Yeah, you've just changed, you've morphed into this new person.
And it's just been a slow progression. And I've done a video on this, like, getting into the gym made me want to change every single aspect of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I put in work, I get results here. Let's try this with cleaning my house, being organised. Like, it made me want to be a more organised person because I felt good when I did it.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I feel good when I go to the gym. I feel good when my room's clean. Then it's like, oh, I'd feel good if I worked for myself. Yeah. And it just, shit like that.
It teaches you a lot about like putting in work and not seeing results straight away, and then in the long term, after you've worked hard enough for long enough, then you do start to see the payoff, and that's transferable over to everything. It's transferable over to business. It's transferable over to life. I feel like there's a lot of people listening to this, especially the Irish listeners. Everyone wants to fucking move to Australia. They say now the only way you can get more Irish is if you move to Australia.
Yeah.
It's mad. So you've lived in Sydney, now you're living in Gold Coast.
Yeah.
What is your, like, what's your take on life in Australia? Sydney, Gold Coast, the different places?
For me, like, I was in Sydney and it's associated with such a bad life for me. Mm-hmm. The shittest life.
Yeah, like was that when you were in the Screamo band?
Yeah, and then like, I've got 3 brothers and 2 of them are there still, like, they're on ice. They've been to jail. Like, they were my influences. They were the ones, like, I was looking up to these guys. Yeah. Right?
Do you speak to them now?
Here and there, not really. Like, one just disappears for a month at a time because, like, I don't really give a fuck anymore. I'm over wasting my energy on it. Yeah. So, these are the people I looked up to, and they're fucking treating me like shit at work. I'm doing bad shit. I'm getting myself in trouble. Yeah. Like, I had a shit job I hated. Western Sydney isn't the Sydney you're at.
Yeah.
It's a different breed of people there. So, like, I'm talking, you can't go for a walk at night. Like, you're looking over your shoulder. You're not cruising around the Gold Coast. Like, when I came here, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Everyone's nice. Yeah. It's a different world. And so now I've got my dream everything here beyond anything I could have imagined. So all I can say is I fucking love it here. Yeah. Like, I love my life here so much. I don't even want to go on a holiday. I'm living it. I'm sad when I'm on a holiday because I'm not at home.
It's mental. That's I think that's what so many people are after. They're after the life where every day literally does feel like a holiday. And then in Australia, since I've came here personally, it's just like the weather's a lot better. There's a lot more to do, and I feel like people are just a lot more up and at it here. Like, if you go for a walk, even at like 6 in the morning, there's so many people around the beach. They're up going for dips, and these are all things that technically you could do anywhere in the world. Yeah. But for some reason, everyone's just doing it here. Yeah. So like, you're saying this is someone that's literally lived here your whole life. The novelty almost never wears off.
No, like, it's always an option. Like, you forget sometimes you can do that, and you remember, fuck, let's go for a morning beach walk, and you're like walking in the morning, just so grateful. Yeah. You're like, I can't even explain it. I love it.
And so, so would you have you've only lived in Sydney and Gold Coast? Yeah. So that's the only places you have. And your take on Sydney is a bit biased because you were fucking like a Screamo emo.
Screamo emo, smoking ciggies, job I hated, hanging around dickheads, and in a shit area. Yeah. Yeah. Like, man, I would be on the train and like 2 girls would come up with bottles in their hands and like say they're gonna bottle us. And we're like, okay, what do we take the bottle off them? What do we do? Yeah. Like, shit like that. Like,
so there's proper dodgy areas of Australia, Sydney, and that too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's fucked. That's fucked.
And to me, it was just normal back then. Now I would be like, fuck going there.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, this is just standard. Just watch your back when you go around.
Yeah. And would you say your life has been basically all good since you got to Gold Coast?
All good.
Everything's sorted itself out?
It's been a hustle. It's been the biggest hustle ever. Like a 10-year straight grind to get some movement in where I want to be. And now it's all made sense for me. Like I've gone through uni here from being a dropout at school, not knowing anything about maths, English, chemistry. Then you're doing an exercise science degree and getting through that while being a PT just to pay your bills, right? So that was torture, but you love it. You're so grateful you did it. So I've been through that. Then I built the business, and now I'm just working because I love it. So and I look back and I go, fuck, I did all that and I'm here now, and I'm so grateful that I did that.
Yeah. As someone that's built a multi-million-dollar business, what do you think is the actual applicable skills that you use on a daily basis? Like, if someone's like listening to this and they want to develop themselves and want to be better, listening to you as someone that's done it, what skills do you actually use? What should people actually be working on for themselves to get there?
It's a good question. I've always been like hesitant of answering this because I know what I do for me.
Talk about what you do for you.
So, well, now it's different to what I was doing before, but it's like at the end of the day, it is consistency, right? And it's finding, first things first, for me, I've got to go to the gym, I've got to be eating good, I've got to be doing all that shit to feel good. Because if I'm feeling good, I'm operating at optimal. My ideas are flowing, I'm doing all that shit. The other thing's just being super consistent with what's working. It's not anything crazy. You're not going to fucking wake up and have this amazing business. It's going to be like going to the gym and training for a long period of time and eating good and doing all these little tweaks. And then in 2 years, you're going to go, wow, look where I am. And it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Is this making sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm saying adopting consistent habits that just lead you to where you want to go. Like you've got to find, everyone's business is different and what's going to work for it is different. Oh, we've got a delivery. We were interrupted, but we're back.
Yeah, we're just in case this doesn't flow naturally at all, a delivery came to the door. But what we were talking about there is we were talking about what you do, your basically your habits and skill set that you use to build this business. And the reason that I wanted to ask this question is it sort of falls back into people's definition of success and what they think that they need to be very successful and make a lot of money. They need to have the math skills, they need to be getting good results in all these tests and things like that. But what I want to know as someone that makes literally millions of dollars, to put it down and completely simplify it and make it specific, what do you do on a daily basis?
All right, so
to clarify on that, what do you do now, and then potentially what did you do on a daily basis to get to where you are now?
So I think one thing is you do want to be content no matter what the whole time. Firstly, like you want to be happy, and like the whole time I was happy with what I was doing and I felt successful with what I was doing the whole time.
That's key. That's key. And I want to just butt in. I know you've only started, but I felt like this the full time I've been creating content. Every time I make content and put it out there, at the start, if it was only getting a few hundred views, but it was still getting one comment, that made me just as happy as putting it out. Like, so see, I often, like, when you look back and you're like, holy fuck, I've became the person that but it still feels the same. You're still enjoying it just as much. Like, no matter how much you have, it's still as enjoyable as at the very start. So I think it's important to pick a journey that you will enjoy instead of thinking that you'll enjoy the destination.
Because you're going to be deep in it and there's no way out. The only way out is progress. So I think being happy and content, because like, don't get me wrong, if I'm not making progress, I'm not feeling successful, I'm not feeling good, even now. If I'm being a lazy cunt now, I'm feeling shit like when I had no money. So I've got all the same emotions about, it's what I'm doing, not what I have, that makes me feel successful. So, example, if I wake up and I eat well and I go to the gym and I make a good piece of content and I communicate with my staff and I'm making positive decisions that are going to improve the value of my business to my clients and everyone involved, then I'm feeling successful.
Yeah.
And those are I've got to do things that align with that every day to feel good within myself.
Yeah.
Before, it would have been like, I've got to get on the phone and make these cold calls and sign up a new client. If I sign up one client a week, I'm feeling successful, and it's progressed into what it is now. So, am I answering the question? Or?
Yes, and I think what we have here is a common theme, and in all areas, if you want to be successful, what I think you actually need to get really good at. Like, obviously, there's going to be different things that you need to be good at. Science, if you want to be a scientist, you need to be good at, in our profession, helping people to achieve their fitness goals. But as an umbrella for everything, communication, I think, is one of the most important things. Being able to communicate with people, being able to articulate your point, being able to do sales, talk to people, get your point across, because I think that's, no matter how smart someone is, if you lack the ability to get your point across to someone, if you lack the ability to have conversations, you're 100%. never going to be super successful.
And I think a big rule I learned is people only want to know what you know if they like you. So if they don't like you, they don't give a shit about anything you can do. If we didn't like each other, we would not be sitting here, no matter how smart or how much value we added. I'd be like, I don't want to fucking sit with this guy. Yeah. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, you've got to be likable, and you've got to have knowledge. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
But it's not, the knowledge isn't enough on its own. You need to be able to find a way to put it across. See, with everything that you've built now, do you see this as like your end goal? Are you happy?
I'm happy. There's definitely, I'm like warming up. That's how I see it. I'm like, wow, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Like, already, I'll be like content for a bit, and then I'll go, like, we're rebuilding our app now. Like, we've just spent a year and a half building this one. We're doing a whole new one now. And because I can see the progress I can make taking that path. Or there's just endless things to keep going with this and keep making progress.
But and that's the thing. It's never an end goal. It's progress in the right direction. So where I think a lot of people snooker themselves is if they start a business or they start a fitness journey. Let's say, for example, a weight loss journey. I'll be happy once I get to 60 kg. That's my job done. I'll be happy once I make 100k. And then you get there, and one, you realize that it doesn't actually make you happy. And two, if you just stop after that, you're going to lose all your progress. You need to keep doing the things forever. It's the same with fitness and the same with business. It's a game that you never win. Like, see, if you told me when I first started I could have what I have now and it would take me 15 years, I'd be happy. But now that I have that, I don't want to stay still. And that's not me being ungrateful, but you need to almost gamify everything in your life, right? What's the next level? The next 1,000 followers, the next increase in how much you're making, the next business. Because if you're not constantly doing things and moving in the right direction, it's not fun. Life becomes boring. So you never get to this stage. And I think a common theme of this podcast is success and being successful. But see, no matter what you have, it's never enough. But that's not a bad thing unless you're waiting until you get somewhere to be happy. But knowing that the journey is the happiness and then wanting to move forward and constantly progress is something that you're going to do, and you know that it's never going to end. Like, I'm going to be 60, 70 and I'm still going to be looking to do more things in business and invest in new things. But once you understand that, then you're not putting off your happiness until you get there. You're constantly moving forward. What is your vision for, say, the next 10 years? What do you want to do? Do you want to go into anything else to do with business? Do you want to just continue to grow your app, or what's the plan?
See, it's funny you asked me what the plan is. The plan's today.
Exactly.
And then tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing next week. I'm one day at a time. What problems am I overcoming? Let's fucking fix them. Bang, what's the next problem? Bring it on. And then that's just constant progress. Honestly, I've got here without a goal to get here. My goal's been progress every day, and I'm here now. So people ask me, like, it's very hard for me to think in the future. Because, like, in the last year, I exceeded 50 times what I ever thought I'd ever have. So you have to be setting new goals based on what's coming in front of you. Like, I'm going to have something come and I'm going to go, okay, where can this take me? That's my goal now. I'll focus on that and I'm going to get it. Then other things are going to come up on the way there, and then we're going to take some path. Who knows where it's going to go? But it's going to be in the right direction.
Things just happen, and the only way you get there is through your daily habits. So just by picking what you're going to do each day, showing up, doing that, naturally these things will occur naturally. You'll make more money naturally. You'll have business success. And you said it was like an impulse even to buy the land for this house. It was something that you just woke up on a day and done it.
Like, I bought this land here. I saw it. I called my builder. I said, brother, should I get it, cunt? And he's like, oh yeah, you won't do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, is it good to build on that? I just need to know that. Yep, sweet. Call him back in an hour, bought it. And he goes, bullshit. I'm like, what? Did I make the wrong decision? He goes, nah, that's mad. And here we are now. And we went through fucking torture to get here, and here it is, and it's all worth it. It's the same thing. Even the car, like, I had the idea, me and Trey were talking, code Trey. We were talking, and I said, oh, I might just buy a Lambo. Like, imagine that. Like, that's crazy. And he's like, that's fucking crazy. And then I think I called him, I go, bro, I bought the Lambo. Like, one popped out of nowhere, bro. It's not like I had a Lambo I was going to buy. My mate, I said it to my mate, just like passing conversation. He calls, he goes, yo, this guy's on the Gold Coast. He's got a Lambo. He's like, open to sell it if you want it. And I go, what's he want? He's like, 520. I'm like, he goes, tell him 500. I go, you know what, 500, I'll do it. I go, do it 500, I'll do it right now. I'll transfer it to you right now. He goes, nah, not doing it. And then we did 510. And I'm like, sweet, done, transferred. Even funnier story. He calls back the next day, Adam, I'm sorry, mate, I'm sorry. I've sent him 50K. Oh, the Lambo's just been sold, mate. It's been sold. I'm like, what do you mean? I sent you the deposit. He goes, I got you another one. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
so he sent me another one. Send me the photos. It's better. It's got blacked out rims. It's everything I wanted, all the extras I wanted. I'm like, fuck, all right. So I've just switched from I had yellow stitching to red. All good. We'll get this Lambo. I meet up with him, jump in the car the next day. Adam, you're not going to believe it. They sold the Lambo on me. I'm going to get the other one back. I go, what do you mean? He's like, I'm getting it back right now for you. My wife's getting it. He's FaceTiming me, his wife picking up a Lambo from a car shop. That's the car, Adam. Show him the car. She's showing me. He's like, that's your car, mate. Good car. I'm like, all right.
That seems like a mad, dodgy
it's
fucker.
Crazy as fuck. I'm like, going to the bank with him. I walk in, they look at us and they go, big transfer. I don't know why they did that. They just looked at it, they go, you need to do big transfer. I'm like, yep. And we just went, I give this guy $500,000 and he goes back to Melbourne, and then I don't have a car yet, and 3 days later it arrives.
That's crazy.
It was nuts.
I'm sure you're almost nuts. On the edge of your seat being like, am I going to get this fucking Lambo?
You know what? I 100% knew I was getting it. Like, I looked at him, I go, this guy would never do this. He's like, I'm so embarrassed that he was so upset that he did that to me. And he goes, I'm getting you a Lambo no matter what. And then he paid for the shipping for me to make up for it.
See, when we're talking about the success and buying the cars, I feel like most people, when they're showing their Lamborghinis and they're showing how successful they are and their morning routines and stuff, they seem quite unrelatable and almost out of touch. But what I like about you is you're just you're level-headed, you're down to earth, and you're just like a normal person. And for me, I feel like in terms of being successful, a lot of people fall into the trap of being like, I need to get up every day and do the shit that all of these people are doing, and do the meditation and the cold therapy. And there's nothing wrong with doing any of these things.
Breath work.
There's nothing wrong with doing any things, and I do some of them for other reasons, but this isn't what's going to make you successful. 100%. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are doing the ice baths and the this and the that and this that, but they're not doing the shit that's moving their business forward each day. And it's fine to do that, but almost everyone's like showing, oh, look at this in my morning routine. So do you do meditation? Do you do ice baths? Do you do...
Listen, I slept in for 10 years, but I put in the work when I woke. I went to bed late. I think it's like a trend of what this successful person's doing, so then all these people who are pretty successful are doing it, so then these people think, I need to be doing that to be successful, but nah, do what works for you. Like, I work better just going to sleep when I go to sleep and letting my body wake up when it wakes up. I don't give a fuck what time it is. I just want to get up. I want to feel rested. So if I go to bed at 2, my goal is, please wake up in 8 hours, not 5. I want to. When Trey tells me he sleeps for 12 hours, I go, fuck, I wish I did that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do that. I want to sleep. Yeah. If I slept for 2 days straight, I'd be so happy because I know my energy is ready to just be creative.
Yeah, 100%. And like, there's just this complete, it's the wrong approach, I feel like. And you could be, like, I just watch people and I'm like, you're doing this and this and this, but you're not fucking, like, say, let's take social media, for example. They're doing all this mad shit, but you're not posting a bit of content every day. You're not doing sales calls. You're not, like, focus on what success means to you. So it doesn't have to mean running a multi-million pound business, but what does success mean to you, right? Say, for example, it's growing your following, building a business, right? Once you break down, that's your goals, that's what success is to you. What do you need to do to get there? So if it is growing the following, you need to post content every day, you need to do sales calls, and then you've got actionable steps that you need to do on a daily basis to get there. But like, so many people are like, I want to be successful, and they're just doing all this generic, general stuff, and they're waking up early and they're reading the books, and like, a lot of people read all the books, but then they never apply. And don't get me wrong, that's what got me started into posting content. I read books like the 4-Hour Workweek and all, but there gets to a stage where you can only read so many books and you have to go and do the shit.
Like, straight up, I read the least now and I'm the most successful, but I applied everything I read. I chose useful shit, I applied it, but I wasn't like living by it. I'm like, cool, here's some principles. But I also created my own principles that I follow, that I know I can do this. I can also make my own decision. I could fucking write a book that you can read. It doesn't mean that works for you.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to have your like own individualized strategy for what you're doing and what works for you, because you know it the best. You know what post is going to do well on your social media because you've posted every day, you've seen what happens, and you've adapted every time. You know what I mean? No one else can do that for you. You can't read that in a book. It's fucking doing the work, seeing what happens, and adapting to it, right?
And this is a really simple task that anyone can do. Figure out, as I said, figure out what you want to do, and then figure out the daily habits that you need to do each day to get the needle moving in the right direction, and then do them as your primary focus. I feel so many people are putting their energy into things that it's not the not the move.
That was even me with being a PT. I didn't want to be stuck. For me, I was stuck. I'm here. If I leave, everything I've worked for the last 8 years is gone. I'm no one. I don't have social media. No one knows me. If I go to Melbourne, I'm starting fresh. And I knew that, but I was scared to just do what I needed to do, change my little daily habits, get uncomfortable and go online and put myself out there. I was scared to do that. Why? I don't know. It's different. And then as soon as I did, I'm like, why the fuck didn't I just do this? Now I'm putting my energy into something that can take me to where I want to go. So I'm stoked to do this every day now. I'm like, fuck, this is where I actually want to go and it's making me happy. It's not putting me in a little circle where I'm stuck. So once you're free from that and you can actually put in effort to getting out of it, you just want to do it non-stop. You're stoked for ages.
It's class. Once you find something that you genuinely want to, like, for us at the minute, us sitting here having this conversation, this is technically work. Everything that we do, like you built a life where you're working all the time, but the work is something that you actually want to do, and it's fun, it's enjoyable.
It's like this guy used to say to me, I'm on my way to my day off, because like work's my day off. But it's like, this is better than my day off, to be honest. This is
it's fun, like
better than my day off. On my days off, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on with my life?
No, 100%. I'm interested to get your take on this too, because we've talked about a few different things in terms of meditation and that, but you've spoke about in your socials before how you've done therapy and things like that. So I'm interested in what you thought about that and when did you do that?
So it wasn't too long ago for me that I was doing that, and it was basically like I was in a shitty relationship and I just was like, how am I in this situation where I'm in such a toxic fucking environment? I'm so successful, everything was good, and I've gotten myself into this thing, and I feel like I felt when I was 20 and insecure and all this shit. I'm in this thing, I can't get out of it. I'm like, I feel worthless and shit. I was in such a bad place. And fucking, I just started going to therapy and using that as a tool to bring my confidence back. So,
you say your confidence was lost through that relationship? Yeah.
Like my self-worth and identity and what I wasn't doing my daily things. This is what it came down to. I wasn't doing the things my non-negotiables every day to make me feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
So I was just feeling like an extra in my own life, you know? But then as soon as I got out and could see it from the outside, it wasn't the therapy I needed, it wasn't any of that. It was just getting back to my foundations and doing the things that got me feeling good, like growing the business, going to the gym, doing all that sort of shit. And since then, the best part is, being in that has made me the best person I can be now. I needed that.
Yeah.
Like, I always remember thinking, I've been through that and I've come through and got out and been okay. Like, nothing can stop me.
Yeah.
And I'll never be there again. And I'm so happy I got there at that point and not now. Yeah. Imagine being there now with everything you have to lose.
And would you say it was like quite a simple fix, but you just need to speak your problems out loud to make sense of them yourself?
The fix wasn't me talking about it, it was me fucking doing something about it.
Yeah.
So I talked about it. I actually tried to fix the relationship. That was the issue.
Yeah.
It was like I was focusing on the wrong thing. I needed to get the fuck out of
it.
Yeah. So just trusting in myself and like talking about it, but then also being reassured that it's all good. Even though I already knew that, I just had to take the step and go through the pain. I had to face the pain of getting out and then rebuilding.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even hard once I did it.
Yeah.
Once I did it, it was all just, there was no pain. It was fucking, I'm back.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Sometimes you're forced into making having a difficult conversation, doing something that you don't want to do, but the pain of staying where you are has to be more.
The pain of where I was like,
yeah.
I knew I'm going to lose everything.
But some people are comfortably numb, where they're in a relationship where it's bad, but it's not bad enough that they're forced to leave. They're in a job where they're not really enjoying it, but it's not so bad. Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is if things literally get so bad that you have to go and do something else. Like, it was the same for me when I was partying, I was drinking all the time. Like, I was like going no direction, but I was like, I actually can't keep doing this. I'm not enjoying my life at all. And things got to a stage for me when they were so bad that I was like, I need to make a change. I made the change, became a personal trainer, started making social content. So if it never got to, like, if I just had a drink at the weekends, right, and it never fucked it too much, never went in 2 and 3 day benders, never went on absolute rippers, I would have still been doing that happily, because I love to drink. I love drinking, I love partying, I love being with people, but I had to get to a stage where I'd done so much of it that I almost fucked myself. And then I was like, shit, like I got to a stage where I was like, what have I done? Like, where am I going with life? This is awful. This is the worst thing ever. But that forced me to switch. And see, by force, now it's fucking, I'm not saying I've made it, but it's pretty fucking different direction. It's a different, it's a different direction compared to where I would have been. So I feel like if there's people listening to this and you're at a stage where you feel like, oh, this is so shit, this is the worst thing ever. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you and the worst positions that you get in turn out to be the best things ever.
You look back and you go, thank fuck for everything.
I feel like almost everyone that has something bad happen to them gets to a stage where that bad thing, they don't wish it didn't happen, because it turns out to be a good thing. So when we think about it like that, there's no way that we can say whether something's actually good or bad, because it might be bad in that moment, but when you look at it in the long term, you break your arm, oh, it's shit breaking your arm, but then you go to the hospital and the nurse, you end up marrying her. So is breaking your arm is actually the best thing that ever happened to you. Whereas so many people look at the short-term game, this is bad now, but you need to understand that everything, there's a learning curve and everything. There's a reason for everything. And if your life feels the shittest and the worst ever, there is a way, there's a direction.
And good, it should. You should feel like that. You need that.
Everyone does though. Everyone goes through periods where it's not going their way, but for you personally, the only life and the only perspective you have is your own. You don't think about anyone else. So when you have all these problems, you're like, I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one that everyone experiences different shit. But it's how you react to it and where you go from there. But so many people stay stuck and they don't do anything about it. It's the reaction, it's what you do next.
Yeah, like I bet you can say the same. Like it's crazy for me to hear that from you too. Like I see what you've done. I'm like, that is like, I've done my own shit, but looking at you and like you'll be like, I used to do this and now I'm here. I'm like, that is fucking crazy to me. Yeah. That you're here now and you're 22. Yeah. Like fucking. That, like, even just talking to me now, I'm just like, this is fucking mental.
Like, say if you had told me 3 years ago, me around 4 years ago actually, when I was still at uni, I was still partying. It was probably about 3 years and a bit, I was still in the mindset of partying, drinking all the time. If you had told me, right, you're going to be in Australia in 3 years, and you're going to have 4 different businesses, be making all this money, talking to people, all these business things going on, I would have, everyone in the room, like say if you told that to a room full of people that knew me, everyone would have been like, Casey, that fella can hardly have a drink without turning into an absolute idiot, because I built this person where Casey was like my alter ego. It was the party animal. It was the person that never said no to a drink, the person that always went at it for days and days and days. And I almost had to completely destroy that old version of myself. But see, even people that know me from back home, even when I meet up with them, I still I feel like, oh, they're still just think of me as that person that I was. And obviously I'm the same person, of the same personality, the same humor, but see what I was actually doing. If I had kept doing that, I would have been, fuck knows where I would have been. So you have to get to a stage where, like, I feel like it's cool for you as well, because you lived the life of the Screamo kid. So you're going through a phase at the minute, and there might be people listening and they're going through their party phase or their phase where they're taking drugs, drinking, but that's not you. That's a phase that you're going through. And see, in literally 2-3 years, you can snap out of it and be a different person.
You can snap out of it at
But
any
I feel
time.
like, for me, even though I talk about killing that old person and being a new person, at the core, I'm still the same. And I feel like that's why people like the content, because they can see the lax personality, the person that doesn't care, that's been through it all. But then what you're actually, like, you're not changing as a person, but the activities that you're doing as the same person need to change.
Where you're putting that energy. And like, there's something about the person that is the animal. Like I'm the same when I party. Like, I'm fucking going hard. If I'm doing it, and we're fucking lighting up the room, right? We want to do it. But like,
it's fun, like.
it translates to everything we do. Like, if we're doing it the best.
And like, sometimes that doesn't. That gets us a bit fucked up.
It can be bad if you're always doing it in the wrong things. But you can step away from that shit. You can fuck it off, and you can put your energy into the right things. And completely change your life like that. Like, we've both done it.
It's crazy. And one thing I want to talk about as well is, and I've been documenting my journey over the past 3-4 months, going off alcohol and stuff, because I had like bad experiences with it. But I'm going to drink again after the 12 months, but I want to prove to myself that I can do this. But one thing that I've said throughout this journey is, I don't want to be that person that tells everyone not to drink just because I'm not drinking, because that's not what I'm about at all. Like, people have been asking me to like go on podcasts and talk about like not drinking and all the benefits. So like, I'm doing this for me, because personally I found that the pros would outweigh the cons if I went off alcohol. But it's not the same for everyone. There's lots of people that can have a drink. So you're a prime example of someone that has a very successful business. You can still have a drink at the weekend. You know when to rein it in, but it's still like, it's not like...
That's arguable.
Well...
But yeah, like...
What's your current lifestyle? It's like, you're not teetotal, you're not living this mad, like, strict bodybuilder lifestyle with no alcohol. What is your take on the full situation?
So, I truly believe, like, you're gonna be the most productive and get the most done and be the most, like, on point with your business and shit when you're not drinking. Like, you're not missing any days. You're feeling good all the time. You're motivated. You're not forgetting shit. Like, you feel good when you don't drink. But there's another part to it, because I started the year, I think I went the first 6 weeks without drinking at all. And I found like me and my girlfriend weren't connecting as much, and we were like a bit distant. And I was so focused on what I was doing, and I wasn't shutting off from business. So I wasn't really finding the balance the right way. I was just like, I just want to get this. I'm so business focused right now. And then me and her had a little thing, and we had a talk, and it's like, it just doesn't feel the same. And like, we loved having a drink together and going to dinner and connecting that way. And I'm like, I want that. I don't just want to, like, I'm willing to take a bit of my potential away to have that, because I want that in my life. It makes me happy, right? So you got to weigh up, what effect does this have? How much does it affect what you want to do? Is it negative? If it's negative, probably don't do it. But what can you get away with and still be optimal here? And like, maybe you're not fully optimal, but weigh it up. What do you want? So that's my take on it. If it's interrupting with where you want to go, like, fucking don't do it. And
you said you don't really get that bad of hangovers and stuff. It doesn't wipe you out completely the next day.
I can still get up and do my content, but I'm not as sharp. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not,
well,
like,
you're not as
I'm
sharp.
not waking up going, I can't wait to make this video.
Yeah.
I'm going, all right, we'll make this video.
Yeah, well, see, for me, I actually can't even hardly breathe. Like, it's actually not even joking. Like this one, I've talked about it actually hurts every breath.
Yeah.
I definitely can't eat. I can't talk to a camera. I actually can't move from bed. Like, my hangovers are fucking crippling. But it's what you said there is good. Weigh up the pros and cons. Understand that. See, if you go off the drink, you're always going to be more productive. You're always going to get more shit done. But is that going to make you happiest?
Are you going to be I honestly wasn't happy, man.
Yeah.
I had no little like I was happy, but I also was disconnected from my partner.
Yeah.
And like we've got this amazing life, and all I'm doing is in the rat race again.
Yeah. Some people will go out and have a drink at the weekend, have a few pints with their friends or their partner or whatever, and that just fits in it. It's nice. Yeah. For me, the reason that I went off it completely is because I found 90% of the time I was going out, I was actually blacking out. Yeah. I wasn't enjoying the night, and I was getting way too fucked up. And I was like, that's something that I need to rein in. And I wouldn't consider myself an alcoholic because I can go out and drink and control it when I'm making a conscious effort to. But I was like, I want to prove to myself that I can go 12 months off it and see the benefits, because it wasn't having a drink with a partner. It wasn't having a few. It was getting fucked up and just down in drinks, and then remember nothing, blacking out. And then obviously when you're going out and people recognize you from your fitness content, I know that I talk about how I'm loose and like I like to party, but I don't want people to be seeing me in a blackout state. Like, it's just not very nice.
I might be out and I'm drinking, and then someone's got a vape and I'm grabbing the vape and puffing that.
Yeah. They're dangerous, them things.
And then I'm like, I'm a disgrace doing this. Like, but I'm not really going out like, I'm not going out and doing it like that anymore. It's like my girlfriend's like me, like. We're very routine during the week, and then we like to fucking have fun. And our issue is we're so similar. I'll be like, you in another one? Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm hanging with my best mate, and we're having good conversations, and we're just getting.
Yeah.
Like, we went to dinner, we ended up like 10 margaritas deep each, and I'm like, how are we in this mess again? And then we're here, fucking dancing around the house, and it's great. But like, me and her have had a discussion about how we need to have the right balance where it's not affecting what we want to do.